Wait till you see the size of the mess one couple managed to bring into my courtroom. Sex, money, anger, and cheating, plus the destruction of an urn full of ashes brought today's couple into divorce court.
Divorce court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with Nicole and William Morelli. The two of you have been married for 6 years, but you have been separated for the past few years. You want to divorce one another. Each of you is seeking $5,000 from the other, you for emotional anguish and you for an urn that contains your father's ashes that she destroyed intentionally after an argument. I'm going to start with you, Ms. Morelli. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your marriage and why you believe you're in divorce court today?
Well, I believe I'm in divorce court today so that way I could address some issues that we had while our marriage did not work.
Okay.
I definitely want a divorce.
Why do you believe your marriage did not work?
Because we were not on the same page. We had different core values and different career goals.
Let me ask you this. How did it start out? How did you meet? How did you get together?
We met at a gas station.
Okay. And what happened at the gas station?
I walked in and I said to Will, "You're a cute white boy." And he said, "You're cute." He said, "Black girl," really low. And we just started getting to know each other from there over the phones and maintaining a long-distance relationship. At the time, we were in Orlando, Florida. I was in New York City.
Okay. And then what happened? You want to tell me? Do you know what happened? You don't seem to be quite with it.
It's just, I'm with it. It's
Okay.
just going down this memory lane is not necessarily the easy thing to do.
It's difficult for you.
It's difficult.
Let me start with Mr. Morelli and see if we can make things a little easier. Mr. Morelli, why do you think your marriage is in so much trouble? I mean, you haven't lived together for a while. You want to call it an end today, but
yes.
What went wrong?
She was too materialistic. It was supposed to be our money was together. My money was hers was mine. It wasn't like that at all. Everything I tried to do, I was battling with a little bit of depression from my father passing. He was my best friend. So it was hard to get over.
Right.
And plus the stuff I dealt with in the military. I was in the Navy almost 10 years. And she gave me the comfort that I needed at that time from the military. And then when my father passed, she was there also. And after a while, it just started going downhill. When it was good, it was really good. We got along great. But the bad times overpowered those good times.
You got to give me an example. Here,
example?
Let me just jump into let me jump into the deep end of the pool.
Yes.
You say all your life you have dealt with or battled issues of your own sexuality, and you believe that that is a lot of what brought your marriage to an end. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. Explain that to me.
Although I didn't necessarily want to live that lifestyle anymore, when I got with Will, I thought that that I was going to be okay. But then when he started to become complacent, you know, he said he's in a state of despondency, I started feeling like a lesbian. I started feeling like a boy. I felt like I was wearing the pants. So psychologically, I started going back in that direction. But that was the way that I coped what was going on. I thought I was empowering myself.
When you say complacent, give me an example of what he was doing that demonstrated complacency.
Will used to be pretty ambitious. One of the, for example, you asked for example, he would sit, and even though I would try to motivate him to do things as far as his career, he would make excuses. He would make excuses why he could not live up to his potential.
Was he not working at all, or simply he wasn't doing as much as you thought he could do in order to advance himself and be more successful?
It was more so, he will always work, but he would take these mediocre jobs when he could do better. So yes, to answer your question, I thought that that was my perception of him, that he could do a lot better, and he just wouldn't.
Okay. Now, were you sweating him about it because you wanted more money, or were you really in his corner supporting his own personal advancement? Those are two very separate things.
No, I wanted to be his support. I tried to directly facilitate him advancing his life, enhancing his career full circle. It was not about the money. I had my own money. It was about money. I would have never left my career.
Mr. Morelli, how did her support come across to you?
Her definition is totally different from mine. Support is not talking down to somebody, name calling, throwing things, basically on those lines there.
Did you do that?
Derogatory
Did you
terms.
name call, get angry, throw stuff at him?
Yes.
Did that happen?
Yes.
Does that read support to you?
No. This was years and years and years later after it started taking a toll on me mentally, physically, financially. It was not at the beginning. I understand, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here today, because this picture that's being painted of me, I don't accept and I don't like it.
Okay. You tell me what picture he's painting and how he's got it wrong.
I'm not a monster. I never cared about money. I cared about us having a life together, some type of stability in our life.
Did you not feel secure economically?
No, not at all. He kept getting in the way of that.
How did he get in the way of your economic security?
Because although I tried to advance us, I couldn't utilize my money the way that I needed to. I had to keep picking up the slack for him, or he wouldn't come up there with me.
Mr. Morelli, what do you have to say about that? I mean, were you kind of just, everything's fine, and you didn't really make an effort to, you know, secure yourself and make sure you have money and in the bank and everything is cool?
It was hard to stack dough, so to speak, when constantly people are being brought into the house to live, not helping out when they said they would. My thing was with Nikki, she always liked to help out people, but you have to help yourself sometimes.
Were you bringing people in the house?
I put people through college, yeah. That's conducive to my personality. I like to help people. It's not there's nothing wrong with helping people.
I never said there was.
Yeah.
I never said that.
Let me say this, and then we'll end it. You feel financially insecure, but you're putting people through college. That doesn't make sense to me. I mean, if you don't feel economically that you're comfortable and safe, you have to spend your money on yourself first before you help a whole lot of other people.
That's what I did.
I had caught her with somebody else. I was at real estate school, came home, door is locked. She finally opens up. There's another person in there. She's buckling up her pants.
Are you recently married but ready to call it quits? Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. Mrs. Morelli, you strike me as very distraught, very broken, and I'm not quite sure how you got there. Explain to me what is so distressing to you that occurred in this union, because so far I hear fights about money, you know, that you don't see eye to eye on that. Every couple I know deals with that. What's so hard for you? You know,
like I said, I was living this lifestyle. I put myself through college all on my own, took care of my brothers and sisters, and then I come and I meet this guy, and he knows my story. Mm-hmm. He knows my life. Mm-hmm. Don't get in my way. That's all I wanted. I didn't want anyone to get in my way. He did in every single way.
How did he get in your way?
The way he got in my way, first he started cheating on me. I would.
Really?
Yes.
Go there?
Mr. Morelli, I'm gonna get to you. He cheated on you.
The first thing he did was he insulted our friendship. You want to know how we got there? I try to make it as succinct as possible. First things first. He said that he wanted to be involved in real estate. So I'm out there. I'm growing him up. This is what I think. I'm out there busting my behind in school, full-time job, and he cheated on me.
Mr. Morelli, your response to that, did you cheat on her, or?
Yes, I did. That was towards the end of our relationship, when we finally separated. But the fact that she left out is that numerous times I had caught her with somebody else. I was at real estate school, came home, door is locked. She finally opens up. There's another person in there. She's buckling up her pants. but nothing happened.
You honestly believe that Mrs. Morelli is really a lesbian?
Yeah,
and,
I mean,
and is
we
not
talked
come
about
to
that
terms
before
with that.
we even got together, and when we talked, she wanted to change that lifestyle, asked me to help her transition from that lifestyle to a different lifestyle, and we tried to.
You like women, you're attracted to women. What made you make a conscientious effort to do something other than what your biology was telling you? Were you trying to fit in? Was it a societal pressure?
No.
Was it a religious belief?
Yes.
It was a religious belief.
Yes. I know I battle my sexuality. I still do to this day. However, I made a choice. I made a conscious choice to go down this heterosexual path, and I just have to stick with it because I believe that that's what my Creator wants for me.
Okay.
That's what I believe. It's hard, but I deal with it. Now, that brings up Will as well. I understand he's a human being. He can't be responsible for someone's sexuality. But as my friend, he knew. Will and I were, even though when we met, we were attracted to each other, we established a friendship. Mm-hmm. You know, we're both from New York City. I'm like, listen, Will, I don't really think I want to date you. I just think you're cute because, I'm really gay, blah, blah, blah. That kind of thing. I kept it real from the door. Mm-hmm. I thought we were establishing a friendship. Mm-hmm. And I said, one of my reasons is because I can't trust men. But you guys, irrespective of what a woman does for you, you always find a way to think with your penis. But I said, I need to be, if I'm going to be in a heterosexual relationship, I need to be with someone that's going to be my best friend, the type of individual that keeps it real with me. So that way, until I developed this strength, or at least I thought back then, I was pretty young, in my 20s.
What did he do to violate your friendship?
Yeah, tell me, because I would love to know. Because I thought I was there through thick and thin.
He sent me back into that life. I'll never forget it. It was Valentine's Day. I was in New York City with one of the bands that I was promoting and managing. I told him about the feelings that I was having for one of the members of the band.
Mr. Morelli, did you get that phone call?
Yes, I did.
And how did it end?
I told her I wasn't comfortable with that situation.
If you would like your case to be heard on divorce court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. You seem as confused as I am with respect to the violation of the friendship about which she speaks. Do you have any clue as to why she believes you violated that sacred trust she had in you? Because I can't see it.
I have no clue. Honestly, when you went to Atlanta, wasn't I there to help you financially? Wasn't I sending you money when I was struggling?
Yes.
I thought I was a pretty damn good friend. Even after we separated.
Your jealousy. It was your jealousy.
When you was in the car that night when my dad's urn got broke. How was that jealousy?
You told
when
me you
were
was jealous,
side to side.
Mr. Morelli, I think you still love her a bit, don't you?
I'm always gonna have a love for her. I mean, we've been through so much. But in love, no. But every person that I come across, I always have a special spot in my heart for them. And I always will for her.
Yeah, just like the woman that you had a double life on me in another family. Like you had a special...
Explain that to me. What do you mean he had a double life? Tell me what you know.
We were separated. We were not
separated.
Yes, we were separated.
Ms. Morelli, you tell me what you believe happened, and I'll ask Mr. Morelli what he believed happened.
Okay.
What do you think happened?
I'll never forget it. It was Valentine's Day. I was in New York City with one of the bands that I was promoting and managing.
I'm glad you brought this up.
I'm glad I brought it up, too.
I love touch on this subject.
Okay. I called him while I was in New York City, Judge, and I told him about the feelings that I was having for one of the members of the band.
Mr. Morelli, did you get that phone call?
Yes, I did.
And how did it end?
I told her I wasn't comfortable with that situation because she wanted to pursue it.
She was asking permission to pursue it?
She was asking permission to pursue it.
And
I told
your
her at the
response
time
was?
I wasn't comfortable because we were separated but not separated. We were still living in the same household due to convenience because at that time we really financially couldn't be in separate households.
Right.
And then 3 weeks later, they finally come back. And after I checked the bank account and everything, I had enough. We had not even a third of the money
What did you spend the money on?
Touring, food, clothes, looking good.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Buying people stuff.
Yeah, I did. Plane tickets, food, promoting an artist that I believed in. It's my money. I could do what I want. If I have $80,000, I need to allocate $30,000 or $40,000 to my household. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. It's all good. Well, you already know who I am. If you have $2 and I have $5, so what? It's only money. Money can't buy people. That's not the most important things. But hold on, homie.
You would even put that on me?
Hey. Let me say this to you. You say money isn't important, but it is hugely important to you. It is very, very important to you. It is. You're upset with him because he's not more ambitious, because he isn't making more money. So it is important to you. Don't pretend that it's not. And when you have money with somebody and you want to spend a lot of it and you're two people in a household, that's a discussion. You have to discuss using a majority of the money.
I'm going to clap on that,
because
too.
you're in it together. That's just how it works. In divorce court, people tell me the most intimate details of their lives. Join the conversation and share your experience on our Twitter page @DivorceCourt and on our Facebook page. See how fans deal with their own relationships. The discussion can get heated. Don't miss it. Ms. Morelli, you want $5,000 for mental anguish.
Yes.
And you want $5,000 because you say she destroyed your father's urn. Why don't you first explain to me what happened to the urn?
I'm more than happy to. All right. Going back to that night, kind of briefly touched on that when she was in a car with another female. Way too close for a married person to be, regardless of the fact that we were going through things. I may have been in situations after we separated, but I never brought it into the household. I always kept things outside the household, and that was never the case with her. That night, she came in, and we got into a little argument, and when I ended up outside arguing, she went inside, grabbed the urn, threw it on the ground. Picked it up again, threw it down again. All the ashes all over the ground.
Ms. Morelli, did that occur?
Yes.
I'd ask you why, but, I don't think any answer would satisfy me. Why don't you tell me why you think he owes you money for mental anguish?
For making me cry.
Mrs. Morelli, you're the source of your own concerns. You're the source of your own problems. And whether or not you're comfortable with your sexuality, he is not responsible for making your sexuality what you want it to be. It is what it is. And if your religious beliefs don't coincide with that, you deal with that on your own, in your church, on your own time. But you don't make him responsible for that, because he can't do that for you. You can't make him responsible for becoming a tycoon or more than he wants to be, if that's not who he wants to be. You're in charge of your life. You're in charge of your sexuality. You're in charge of your money, and you need to be in charge of your anger and your attitude. You're all shook up inside because you're not certain about anything, and somehow you've gotten the idea if the money's right and I live a heterosexual lifestyle, I will be certain. That is not what your problem is. Your problem is internal. It is a soul problem, okay? That's number one. Number two, I can't give you money for mental anguish and emotional distress.
For abandonment?
For abandonment or any of that. You're pointing at him for the problems that you created. Having said that, I said this: how dare you destroy that urn? That's what was left of his father.
But it wasn't a conscious reaction. I just did it.
If you punch somebody in anger, you're still guilty of assault. You're a grown woman. You knew better. $5,000 in favor of Mr. Morelli. It is so ordered.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Being married won't make you whole or happy if you don't know who you are inside for yourself. All it will do is put your problems in somebody else's household. Call us at 877-311-2222.